Hey, welcome to Fix My Flows. We are recording live from the Adobe podcast stage at FinCon in Portland, Oregon. And I've got Charly with Unicorn Millionaire here. And we are going to get into some workflows and operations. So just to start out, you know how delegation usually feels like you're lighting a match and not actually getting that freedom? I've lived that firsthand, and as an accountant walking into businesses with no systems, no SOPs, sometimes I'm their first financial hire. I have had to build systems from the ground up and implement all of the organization, and I just absolutely fell in love with building order from the chaos, and now I help business owners do the same thing in their business.
Hey!
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about Unicorn Millionaire, and let's just dig into the back end. And I think that kind of starts with what's the end goal? What's the product that you're trying to get people to? Mm-hmm. And I guess we'll work our way kind of backwards from there.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Traveler Charly. I'm a non-binary Latinx money coach. Pronouns are they, he, papi. And I help everybody, mostly LGBT, BIPOC, first-gen clients, crush debt and save for a six-figure retirement without needing to make six figures. As somebody who's never made more than $45K ever at the 9 to 5, I just hit my first $200K at 34. So I'm really passionate about helping my clients of any income invest for retirement so they can get paid more to do less and have their money grow itself. And I'm the host of the Unicorn Millionaire podcast, which just hit 126 episodes. So I only sell one-on-one money coaching. It's 6 months of money coaching. And so that is the product that I sell.
Awesome. And so I heard in a session earlier that you were using HoneyBook. Let's talk about just your tech and what do you have implemented and kind of where is it implemented in your business?
So HoneyBook I like it. It's a software where people can sign my contracts and pay me. It does charge a fee, so my clients pay me at the time of this recording $6K for 6 months of coaching or 2 payments of $3,100. And out of the $6K, HoneyBook takes about a little less than $200. I just checked how much actually hits my bank account, and it's $58.25, which is fine. And my clients can pay me with a credit card, which is great. So they're already getting the points and making their investment back as soon as they pay for me.
How meta.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo, so you're already making money as you pay me to help you make your money grow for the rest of your life. It's a no-brainer. And I like having systems where I don't have to do too much, do the mostest. So they pay me in HoneyBook, they sign the contract, I countersign the contract, and so I don't have to do DocuSign or all these other different bells and whistles to save money. For me, it's very important to invest in software where, yes, I pay $39 a month for a fee, so I don't have to use 2 different websites and scramble to save money, which I think a lot of business owners just want to avoid paying as much in fees as possible.
Absolutely. As an accountant, that's one of the things that people come to me with, and they're like, how can I save money on my merchant processing fees? And I just kind of have to point out, is that the currency that we're measuring your success in? Mm-hmm. And is that really the thing that we want to dedicate our time towards? Because it's truly usually less than 1% of the expenses in your business.
Yeah, like I asked in that session, just out of curiosity, I mentioned what I charge, everything, and that I pay HoneyBook for this. And after 5 years of using it, just out of curiosity, I was like, is this okay? Not, I'm tired of paying these fees. I was grateful for the fees to make money. If I hadn't paid for these fees, I would not have made $260,000 in revenue over 5 years, completely myself, without any rich white men venture capital funding. Boom. But it's good to just know how you can optimize if and when. But yeah, these fees are worth the investment. But that's why it's good to have a financial professional or other professionals to just ask, am I out of date? Is there software that can be doing this better?
Absolutely. And I think that you bring up as a starting business owner or someone who's looking at just, cleaning up that back end, making sure these things make sense, making sure that the things are connected together in a way that isn't like actually adding more time to my life, people look at the money and they stop the conversation before they really even start it. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to stop measuring the success in, what does my P&L look like? How much money did I save this year?
What's P&L for the people that don't know? These abbreviations in QuickBooks.
That's your profit and loss statement, your income statement, like your income versus your expenses. And a lot of people will, like penny by penny, we'll get this fucker dialed in. And it's like, you can get the fucker dialed in, or you can like pay a little extra money for systems that put time into your life, and then you can just go do something else entirely. Yeah. And I think a lot of people get caught up on the money part of it. Me personally, I will throw money at an app like nobody's business. I mean, there's like levels. I'm a smaller business, and so I'm not signing up for something big like Salesforce or HubSpot. But HoneyBook, I love HoneyBook, and I love that it gives entrepreneurs, up to a pretty large business, that option to just streamline their client onboarding. I have a passion in my heart for onboarding. I've been through too many awful onboardings as an employee, as a person buying a product, even just someone who wants to get more involved in someone's community. Onboarding could be, how do you welcome people into your Instagram? How do you connect with people in your LinkedIn? That's
your email list.
I've
just set up an automation where when people sign up for my Crush Debt Retire Early emails, they get 5 emails, so one a day, being like, this is who I am, this is how I can help you, here's a client testimonial, to welcome them into my email series, because I send an email a day. I send a fuck ton of emails, and people love them because they're juicy.
I love it. Well, and so, going back to workflows and systems and everything, can we talk about maybe since you do send out so many emails, can we talk about like your content workflows? Like, how are you able to take it from brain to hitting publish so consistently to send out like these daily emails?
I use Google Docs. I keep it simple, and I have an email bank. And I'm also part of $1 Million Email, which is an amazing marketing program that has changed my life, by Kirsten Roldan. If y'all want the affiliate link, hit me up on Instagram.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll get it from you. We'll throw it in.
Yes. But I love their system because they do copy reviews where you can send them a Google Doc with 5 emails where the copywriters will review them. So that kind of gives me the framework of each Google Doc has 5 emails that I immediately send for copy reviews. But I don't wait to get the copy reviews. I'll schedule them out, and then I can implement their feedback for the next time I polish, because I repurpose a lot of things and I hone it in and make it better and better, because all my emails can always improve. Yeah. So I have banks of copy reviews that I submit and just have them in the back end, and I'm constantly scheduling them out. Like, we're at FinCon and it's been 3 days of being busy, but I scheduled emails out last week when I was nice and cozy, alone, co-working, all chill before coming to a conference. I was like, I don't want to have to worry about emails. So I scheduled one every day. It was a total like 9 or 10 emails up until tomorrow. And so it's really nice knowing I can chat with you and not have to like log on to MailerLite and schedule an email a day.
Man, I'm telling, well, okay. And so how do you, so you're managing like all of this back end, it sounds like in like Google Workspace.
Google Docs. It's not
Google
fancy.
Docs. No,
it's free.
No. So, and you know what? I have been managing my content system in Google Docs until just very recently, when I invested in another systems program. Even a workflow and systems person, especially a workflow and systems person, we see it out there and we'll throw money at it, and we're in now. And now we're just like a part of the gang. And I discovered Airtable for the first time this month. And do you know anything about Airtable?
I don't use it personally, but a lot of the coaches do. That's where I submit my copy reviews. So I know it's a good system for
Okay,
people.
I bet I know what system she uses too. I bet she uses Ashley's system. So that's one of the things that I also do as like a systems and workflow and operations person is sometimes I don't have the answer, you know? I can't help you with your copy, but I can maybe recommend you to the people who can, and I can help you set up that back-end system that helps take that stress off your plate so you can even get your copy to the people that you are paying to review your copy. Because I think that, you know, so I'm fairly neurodivergent, self-diagnosed ADHD.
Aren't we all?
I know.
As business owners, I don't believe there's any neurotypical business owner out here in these streets.
I think the ones who say they are lying to themselves.
Or their partners are neurospicy. They got hella neurospicy.
Something, yeah. But one of the things that I have to work with is like some heavy ebbs and flows. When I've got the ideas, they are coming in at 90 miles a fucking minute. I barely have enough time to write them down. And then I'll go through like a solid 2 weeks of just like sloth. And so for me, it was balancing that high and low of, oh my God, they're coming in. And then taking that low energy time and using the ideas that I've already captured. And so I've tried probably, I don't know, I think I've rewritten my content system for probably the past 5 years, like every 6 months. And that's why when you look at my Instagram, it shows.
I think it also has to do with our cycles. As people assigned female at birth, our menstrual cycles really dictate the energy.
Well, and okay, so when, as an accounting professional, when people sign up with me to work with me, they get a what to expect when working with me document. And there's a paragraph in there that says, I work with my cycle. I take a week off for my menstrual cycle because I don't fucking want to, like anything. And I got so sick and tired of having to show up. And I mean, like, showing up physically was one thing, but having to also show up mentally while just my energy was like below zero. It was just like, no one is getting the best me right now. Why are we forcing this?
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, again, that's a part of my systems. I let people know there's gonna be a Shark Week, and it's also Ghost Week.
It's Shark Week, period week,
Shark
because of
Week,
all the blood?
yes!
Okay, got
It's
it.
Shark Week, Ghost Week. And, like, I don't care if you text me, you're gonna have to call me 15 times, because as far as I'm concerned, these aren't emergencies. Are you in someone's chest with a scalpel? No, it can wait.
I'm like, this week must not be Shark Week,
It's
because
not
you are
Shark
out
Week.
and about in these streets recruiting people for your
The stars aligned this
you need
week.
to have.
The stars aligned. I'm in my luteal phase. I'm in my high energy phase, and I am thanking God every moment that it is not Shark Week.
When you're
Because-
ovulating, that's when you should do video. When I'm ovulating, I'm like, okay, I'm
This
trying to
is it.
fuck. We're glowing. That's the trying to fuck phase.
And that's, but I mean, again, you know, I was talking to someone last night, and she said, I don't have operations. I said, you do. You may have not put any time into them, but you have operations. And even things like this, like deciding when to work, when not to work, when, you know, like I only take client calls on X days because...
Or in the mornings.
Or
I'm
in the
a morning
mornings.
person.
Yes.
So latest 1 p.m., then I got shit to do.
Like, people call me and they're like, hey, Sarah, you know, I'm not available until after work, until 4 o'clock. Can we meet? And for a long time, I said yes, because I was hungry for the money. And what I realized was, none of those conversations were worth a shit. B, nothing was converting because they weren't worth a shit. And C, it was because I was like already done. We wake up at 5 o'clock in my house. I am such a morning person. By 5:15, I'm cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah.
By 5:30,
my house did laundry.
Yeah, my house is. I'm like vacuuming by 5:45, and so like by 4 o'clock, I've lived an 11-hour life by then, and you're not getting. I mean, you're getting Sarah like 50%, and so I wasn't able to even notice that until I started building systems that broke, systems that sucked, systems that made me cry late at night. And one day the answer comes, and I mean the clouds open and there's a glimmer of hope. And then, as our friends in Ops I Did It Again said, things are going to start working, things are going to start getting better, and your business is going to grow, and then it's all going to fucking break again. And I think that's what I like about Ops, is it's not so much a set it and forget it. You can do that for like a little bit of time, but you're always going to have to come back and evolve it, reconfigure it. I like data. I'm not like a data analyst. I don't like that much data. But like financial statements, that's the perfect amount of data for me. And so like getting into my kit metrics or getting into my Instagram metrics, that's digestible data for me. And if you're tracking the right things, which again is a heavy operations thing, you can start making these small changes in your business in the right places that cascade the whole experience, not only for your client, but for you. And I think that for a long time, at least I know I was intentionally like work life, business life. I'm a Gemini, so that's really fucking easy for me. We're gonna compartmentalize. There's like a 10-foot concrete wall in between. And what I realized was, no, they're really trying to mesh together, and you are forcing something that's not natural. And so when I started just like, I want to go on a vacation, how can my business support that? You know, I want to come to FinCon and not worry about my audience being dropped into the darkness. I want to go, you know, gallivant around Spain for a while. Or you just got back from how long? 3
Europe.
months?
Yeah,
3 months. 4 months
with
in Europe?
Mexico. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, I'm sure there were times where you're like, it's travel day, things aren't working, and blah, 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 blah. And if you had not pre-scheduled things, like, can you imagine standing like in a train station in Europe, and instead of being like, ooh, in the moment, you're like trying to worry about like what the fuck your kit password is? That's not why we started a business.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about, is there anything in your workflows or just like anything in your back end that you're like, I mean, it works, but it's not my favorite, or maybe you want a second eye on it? Or are you just like feeling confident because you've put into place some good things with some good advice?
I mean, I feel confident, but that's why we can always improve. But I feel like as business owners, we don't know things are a problem until we see how other people do it, how easily other people do it. My simple automation when clients sign on with me is, here's my email. Once you pay me, then I have Honeybook linked with Zapier to automatically add people to my online curriculum through Podia. So they have access to everything. And so far it's been seamless. If people were to like consistently ask me questions or be confused, then that's when I feel like this is a systems issue. I need to fix this, because client delivery is just as important as sales. Because if clients have a crappy delivery experience and have to ask you how the F to log in, or if you send them the links to the wrong workshops, then they're not going to want to refer you to their friends. So you just want to have it be as seamless as possible for them and for you. So you're not busy texting back and forth about passwords, and instead helping them to crush their credit card debt or do the work that they are paying you to do.
Yeah. And again, like, onboarding has such a special place in my heart, because I've been through so many god-awful onboarding experiences. And it really it sets the tone for the entire client relationship. Mm-hmm. You know, they're either going to look at you as this person who has their shit together, or they're going to look at you as this person who, like, flashed a shiny object in front of them and then
is a hot mess. Like,
yeah.
I've never really had bad onboarding experiences, because I've always paid high ticket for coaching from the get. In 2021, I hired my first business coach, and she was $3,000 for 3 months.
Yep.
And as an investor, I was like, great, if I make this $3K back in my lifetime, it will be worth it. But I did the work, and I made double the investment. I made $7K after just a month of doing the work. And so as an investor, I see if things are worth the financial and the emotional return. So then from there, I invested $8K or $10K. I'm about to invest $12K in the next coaching program, knowing that I will quadruple, 10X my investment in the next couple months or years, depending on what I do about it. I don't put it all on my coach. So I think being around that high level of quality has me just be on top of my stuff. But if a client ever asks for anything new, I'm always like, do you need a training? Do you need this, that? But my clients are pretty like quiet about what they need. It's more of like, can you answer this question about my finances? But as a business owner, it's up to me to always solve problems before they ask me about it as well. Yeah. So that's how systems can help you.
Yeah. Well, do you know how much time we have left?
Corey, how much time is left?
How much time do we have left?
I saw her walking around, but I wasn't sure if she was flashing the 5 minutes.
We have 9 minutes.
Crushing it.
I'm not editing anything. All of this is going.
I barely edit. Unless the internet goes out, which it's not going out at the convention center, I don't think. They got generators up in this bitch, probably.
Probably. I would hope so. Okay. So, oh man, I had a thought, and then you just kept going, and it was so good. Juicy. And my ADHD just went like, there it goes. So how do you, I am currently, I remember what I was going to say. Here we go, spiral back. So one of the things that I learned was that free lead magnet is not solving any of your problems. That $10, the $10 template, probably not going to change your business. And when I started investing into higher ticket programs, or even just like, a $200 paid lead magnet that funnels into, a $5,000 program, that $200 lead magnet is going to be better than anything that everyone gives you for free. And what I learned was, so like, let's take Airtable, for example. I'm currently obsessed with Ashley at Systems Over Stress, and I went to one of her webinars last year, and then she has a fantastic YouTube channel, and she gives absolutely fucking everything away for free on her Instagram and Threads. And so me, in all my DIY craftiness, I have 1 billion screenshots and like screen records and things, and I was like, I'm just gonna recreate this. I can do this, and I've done it before with other products. And so I get an Airtable, and I was like, whoa, this bitch. And I could not wrap my ADHD accountant brain around how to work this thing. So I purchased one of her low ticket items, which is, it's included in her signature program, but it's also kind of like a funnel into her signature program, because you buy it and you fall in love. And the most valuable thing that I got out of the training wasn't the thing that I bought. It was the training on Airtable that we went through to implement the thing. And it was because I finally paid for it
Yes.
that I was
Stop
able
trying to do it all yourself.
unlock it.
Please,
And
dear
so
God.
even like a systems person who is DIY savvy, I mean, it's like I've created very complicated spreadsheets from like pausing YouTube videos every 2 seconds. You know, I'm a big You Need a Budget fan, and I have done a lot in that realm, just like pausing videos. A 1 hour video will take me about 2.5 hours to get through. That's how many pauses there are, because we're implementing while we watch. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so and so paying for the product, I was like, okay, so this is going to solve that problem. But it solved the problem of learning Airtable, which I didn't expect. And so I think investing in those higher ticket items, even just a couple $100s, you know, really could be that unlock that you were looking for, like somewhere else even. And so I would definitely say, don't be afraid to throw money at it. That's one of my biggest sayings. It's like, oh no, we're throwing money at that right now.
Yeah, you gotta pick and choose what you do yourself to learn. Like I do all my editing on my podcast. I've 5 minutes now. I've asked ChatGPT to help me with my SEO for my blog.
Yep.
I do all these things myself now so that I know exactly what I'm paying somebody to do. You should be able to fix stuff. You should never depend on somebody and be like, oh, if they quit, my business burns down. No, none of that. So that's why I need to learn how to DIY some of the things, but eventually I do want to hire so that I know what I'm paying somebody else to do, so I can focus on the content of a podcast instead of editing everything myself and draining me, so I don't have my creative genius there. So it's a balance between trusting what you're good at and what you want to outsource while also having the basics down. Like I can edit all my podcasts myself. I've released 126 episodes completely alone with zero help.
I tried to edit like one video, and I was like ready to throw my laptop. And it's something that I know I need to do, because I'm a firm believer in if you don't have like any clue about what this position does, how are you going to hire someone? Like, how are you going to know what questions to ask them? How are you going to know like what troubleshooting they might have to work through? And so I think that especially when you're bringing in another person in your business, having that knowledge helps you have a better quality hire, and you can also communicate more accurately, like what their role is versus what your role is, and you're not just kind of like figuring out together. No, you're the boss. Tell them.
You need SOPs though.
You need SOPs.
Which I've hired before and I fired immediately because it was on me. I didn't have SOPs.
Yeah.
So once I have them, then I will confidently hire again.
Well, I love that you brought that up. I'm going to take a minute to hook this into my upcoming webinar on October 22nd. And I am doing a live implementation webinar. You will walk away with an SOP GPT. And what this does is you feed it your brain dump in all its mess and glory, and then it will spit out a nice, clean, formatted document with all sorts of things, like how to close feedback loops, how to tag other people in, like little tiny things to watch for. For example, like as an accountant, if you hand me something with staples, oh my God. I have a vendetta against staples. And so, and if you've ever had to take out like literally 10,000 staples, you would too.
Yes.
And so, you know, like those little tiny minuscule things get captured in this. And what I realized was people weren't hiring confidently because they didn't have their internal SOPs. And then what got me to really put some time and effort into this product is, as an accountant, like your month-end close is different than his month-end close, is different than their month-end close. And I need to be able to track all that outside my brain. And so I started creating these really detailed SOPs in my business, and I was able to take like some of my accounting clients. I was working on their books for 20 hours a week, and now it's 2. And so just because I got this shit out of my brain and I am following a document instead of like remembering what the next thing is. And so I thought that was a really good place to start, as far as how do I move my operations to the next level. And so if anyone's interested in coming to that, again, it's on October 22nd, 2025. The link is in all the bios. And you will leave with a working GPT ready to go, ready to implement. I actually also give you the framework to create any other custom GPTs that you want. If you're just like, oh, that was fun, let's do another one. Cool, here's your framework. And that really, I think, has helped people get started moving to that next level of like, okay, these are what my processes are. Now we look at tech, we decide that HoneyBook is the one, and now we can set this thing up because we have our SOPs. And we're not looking for tech to solve a problem that we don't quite know where it exists yet,
It's the balance of the human versus the tech and where we fit in.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to follow Steve's lead, and we've got some outro things to do. I just went to a how to do a podcast workshop, and okay, so main takeaways. I think what's your main takeaway today?
Ask for help. Stop trying to do it for free.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Pay somebody to help you solve your problem so you're not wasting years of your life trying to DIY it and half-ass it.
I'm just going to ditto that. Just learn where you want to throw your money at it, and make sure that, have those conversations like, if I throw my money at this, what's the return that I'm going to see when? And really get into how it's going to help, just like your end goal, your client experience, but also your experience. And I think that sometimes we focus on one or the other, but not both. Okay, tell us where to find you, all the places, and again, just repeat your offer. What do you want to sell everybody?
Oh, okay. I am Traveler Charly on Instagram. That's Traveler Charly with a Y. I have the Crush Debt Retire Early email series, host of the Unicorn Millionaire podcast on Apple and Spotify, and I sell a 6-month one-on-one private money coaching program so you can crush debt and build a 6-figure retirement without needing a 6-figure salary. So thanks for having me on.
Awesome. It was fantastic to chat operations and work. I love nerding out in this space. And so I know that a lot of people don't want to look at their workflows, but I really appreciate you coming in, talking about it, giving us a little peek behind the scenes. And we'll see you in the next Flow Fix.
Whoop.